All right, good morning, everybody, and welcome to another. This is actually a special episode of the Building Giants. I've asked these guys to sort of pause, put it on hold for a little bit because I've been excited about this meeting and this discussion here. We'll try to keep it to a half an hour. I know it's going to be challenging with just the stories that'll probably get out and all the great things that they have to say. So today we have McDonald Miller's SPG group and I've got Kevin Wilder, Charlie Prib, Marcus Lee, and Steve Flink here today. I'm going to let them introduce themselves, but what they're going to discuss with us today is just like always, some of their guiding principles and but more so what has led them to be such a great team at McDonald Miller, and a team outside of work and just supporting each other. They're gonna go over all the fun stuff they've been able to grow over the years and some of their careers. So, Kev, I'll start with you, and then you guys can just go ahead and introduce yourselves, and then we'll get after it, and I'll ask some questions in the interim.
Awesome. Thanks, Devin. Kevin Wilder with McDonald Miller. I'm the Vice President of Service Special Projects here. I've been with McDonald Miller for 25 years and started with the opening of the Tacoma office back in 2000 and worked as an account exec selling projects until the 2010, and then moved up to Seattle office and took over the division. And we've really, can't say enough about the team and the opportunity that's been with us. And we grew. When I started, the special projects group was 3 people, and we're now at 38 people. So it's really been awesome to watch the development of each one of these guys. So pleasure to be here today. Look forward to the time with you guys.
Appreciate it, Steve. You're sort of the next senior elder in the room here. We got to go age, not beauty first, age first. So, Steve, you want to jump in?
I can't hear you. I'm Steve Flink, Service Special Projects lead for our Tacoma office, just a few blocks from your office there. Been with the company almost 29 years. Spent the first 10 years as a project manager for new construction, and then started service sales with Kevin in 2006, and been doing this ever since, and moved up to a lead about 5 years ago, I'd say. Got a team of about 4, almost 5 or 6 coming soon in our lovely Tacoma office.
Nice. Charlie?
Good morning, Devin. Thanks for the opportunity. This is awesome. Charlie Prib, 21 years at McDonald Miller. I started in 2004 as a first-year apprentice, local 66 sheet metal, HVAC service technician by trade. So I spent the first 9 years of my career at McDonald Miller in Zone 1 as a service technician. After that, I spent about 1.5 years in our demand service group. And then in 2014, Kevin offered me the opportunity to come up and work with him in SSP. So I spent the last 10.5 years in SSP, and now I am the Zone 1 and specialty group lead. So what's cool for me is that I came up in Zone 1 as a technician, and now I've switched roles, and now I'm serving Zone 1 in a different way. So it's neat to see the progression from hands on the equipment to now leading a team serving the same area.
Nice. That's sort of an underlying process with this group is for a long time you guys have all been in the field or in sales, and then have moved up, and then so sort of have had the ability to practice what you preach, so to speak. You've been out there and you understand the customer's needs and wants, and then also I think what's more importantly is as you move forward is you sort of understand your team's needs, right? What they need to be successful in the field. And so that leads me to Marcus.
Yeah, thanks, Devin. kind of the same path as Charlie. Spent about 15, 16 years in zone one as a service tech, in zone one. And then, gosh, I guess it's been 2018 or 2019 or so. I came up into SSP with Kevin and Charlie. It's just time flies. It's, every time I look around, I think it's been 3 years, 2 years. It's like going on 5 in SSP now. So been with Max the whole time, started here in 2005. And yeah, 15 or 16 years in service, last 5 up here. So it's been great. I love every minute of it.
I'm going to put Charlie and Marcus on the spot here real quick, since their boss is on the phone here. But coming up like that, what has made you guys such a great team?
I think you hit on it a bit, coming from the service side and dealing with the customer directly and solving a lot of those problems. I took that and just basically morphed it into the sales side, right? We're still solving problems. We're still meeting customers. A lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them really don't know what the solution is, or they think they might have an idea of a solution. Sometimes it's a good idea, sometimes it's not. And kind of coaching them through that process, I think for me has been probably my biggest asset, from the service side into sales. And I say that word kind of with a quotation, because although it is sales, we are still helping the customer solve a problem. That's the way I like to think of it, right? I'm not selling you something, I'm selling you a solution to a problem that you have, right? So for me, that's probably been the biggest asset, is just that being able to talk to the customer and explain things, not in layman terms all the time, but a way that makes sense to somebody that might not really know.
Yeah. Charlie,
Yeah, Marcus hit on a little bit, is coming from service. We're in the yes business, right? Yes, I can do that. Yes, we can do that. More in the sales role, I feel like it's a yes and, right? Yes, we're ready to do that, but here's a different option. I'm not really in sales, right? I feel like I'm a trusted advisor. I'm a partner. I'm not a commodity to our clientele. I want to be, it's a two-way street. Instead of me selling something to them, I'm proposing a solution, but backing that up. And that's been really valuable. That's something I've learned from leadership here at McDonald Miller.
Yeah. Nice. Steve, I'm gonna let you start the answer on this one, but you've been at McDonald Miller a long time, and seen the ups and downs, and I know the hours that you guys put in. What have you invested in yourself personally and professionally, and how have you been able to manage that in your family life, and keep your guiding principles in check, or keep them on point? What have you done to be successful through the years at McDonald Miller?
Nose to the grindstone, I guess, is the biggest. Working nonstop to get your work done. In the beginning, I wanted to make sales when I started in 2006 with Kevin. Staying late, him and I would be in the office till 6 or 7. And at that point in my life, I, started having babies.
Yeah.
And, showing up late for dinner, time to read books and put the girls to sleep. It came to a point where it's like, I've got to make a change. I've got to make a work balance. I decided that, my cutoff time is 5 o'clock. I'm going home, spend time with the family, dinner, all the family stuff you do in the evenings. Put the girls to bed, and then I would actually get back on the computer and finish another 1 or 2 hours worth of work. That seemed to work without burning myself out. It's all about balance, taking care of yourself, taking care of your family, your friends, and work, of course.
Yeah. Hey, Kev, describe for me sort of the philosophy you guys have at Mac Miller, in sort of your attitude of servant leadership towards each other.
Yeah, I think We've gone through a book called The Ideal Team Player by Patrick Leoncini, and one of the things they talk about is the importance of every player being humble, hungry, and smart. And I think that what I've tried to do with myself is to put myself in a place where I'm leading by example. And that sounds like a canned answer, but really not asking somebody to do something that I wouldn't or haven't, but helping them along the way. Because much like the solutions that Charlie and Marcus talked about, you're bringing a solution to now a sales team. And the company as a whole, I like to say that we're the largest small company out there, because it's continuing to reiterate the importance of the individual, their voice, having them be able to understand and raise their hand. One of the things I'm leaning into right now, two areas is when we challenge people, sometimes we challenge, the company will challenge them, and it's all about numbers. Steve talked about that. It's all about this or that success. I've shifted that to say, I've said to my guys, when you have a new challenge, don't disguise your fear with wisdom and say, well, I think this is probably not for me. But to have that drive, to have people understand that there's another opportunity out there. It's just another way to go about it. And the company and our philosophy has been employee first. Yeah, we got to make money and we got to keep the lights on, all that good stuff. But the ability of having transparency, vulnerability, humility, and then to build that into the next guy, understanding what it took you to get there and not forgetting where you came from. I think that's been a real big plus for us all the way down the line. I know earlier in the year you guys had Rory Olson on, and that was a real big thing for him as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to continue along that line of what you said there, Kevin. And Charlie, I've seen you golfed with you a bit, right? And you're still better than me, but I'm trying to get
You're too kind.
But I do like when you keep score, because my score seems to get better, because I think you give me a couple strokes just to make me feel good. But I want to ask you, at these golf tournaments, I've watched you. And when they have vendors at every hole, and you pick up every piece of swag at the course, you are like a dog on a bone for swag. And I thought, man, he's giving this to the kids at home, and he's just must have a closet full of water bottles and stuff. And then we talked about it, and you said, "Hey, man, I give this to my guys because they don't have the opportunity to do what I do, and they have the opportunity to be here. They're out working hard today." I found that just amazing. And so I want you to talk about how important that is to take care of your team, and just like you would take care of your family, and what drives you to do that. And I know you're going to go, shucks, it's just what I do, but that's not it. What drives you to be like that?
Yeah, there's two words you just said, Devin, team and family. And that's how I treat my team, right? They are a family to me. I feel like I spend more time with my team than I do with my family. And I think everyone on this call would feel the same, that a lot of our life is with our coworkers. So
Right.
For me, like Kevin mentioned, leading by example. But yes, my team, they invest a lot in McDonald Miller. So I in turn want to invest a lot in them. When it comes to golf tournaments and talking to every vendor, I realize those vendors are out there all day sacrificing. So I think it's important for us to show our appreciation for them being out there, for just the sacrifice we all make for our careers.
Yeah. Yeah. So I got a couple trick questions here at the end that I'm going to save for y'all. But Steve, go ahead, and I'm going to start with you. But what's the number one underlying core value in the SSP group?
I would say compassion for your team, compassion for your leader, compassion for your customers. Um, it like Charlie touched on it, being a trusted advisor and to whether it's your customer or your team is having the understanding what they need and putting yourself in their shoes. Um, what if I were in this situation, what information or what would I, you know, like to hear? And just being there as an advisor is probably the biggest one, and having the compassion for that person. Um, what is in their best interest to make them successful?
Nice. Yeah. Marcus,
Yeah,
a tough one to follow.
yeah, no, I know. Same question.
Yeah, same question. Number one core value.
Yeah, I would kind of agree with everything that Steve said. I mean, I try to think of it as like if this was my house or if this was my project, how would I want someone to approach that? So, quick story, the other day we had a gal call and she wanted to replace 40 water heaters, like 50-gallon water heaters in this like it was kind of like a low income housing type environment. And so I knew that wasn't a good idea. They didn't have the electrical capacity, but according to her, she found a vendor that was going to do it. And they even found a grant that they were going to get from the city after the work was done. Right. So I'm like, treating others how you would want to be treated, approach the project, or it might not even be a project, right? Maybe you're just proposing a job. Maybe you're helping someone put together a budget for a ROM that they might do in 2 years from now. So just approaching each one as though it's your own project, how you would want someone to treat you and your project. I think it goes a long way. We're not in it for one sale, right? Like I've got customers that call me for everything, stuff we don't even do, right? But they call me because they know, hey, maybe if I can't do it, Matt can do it. Or so that it's that repetitive return customer that I think we're all trying to keep and get and find new ones that you can build that relationship with. So I think trust has got to be at the top.
Perfect. Kev?
Same question. I'm just kidding you. I think the core is, and it was mentioned, but we don't, it sounds counterintuitive, but we're not looking for another customer. We're looking for a partner. And how that's revealed is all the things you just heard, but also having conversations that aren't self-serving. Many times salespeople can come off like, look, all I want you to do is sign the bottom of this ticket and I'm out of here. But really to walk alongside that person and to invest in them. One of the things that I've lived by is when we're born, we inherit something from our family or our parents, whatever. And when we die or we retire, we leave a legacy. But in between those times, all we have is the opportunity to invest in people and relationships. I just heard it said recently, the two things you'll have to deal with your whole life are money and relationships. And one of those things will make you rich. And I think that what we've tried to do is take and invest in, I've tried to model investing in the team and then have them invest in their customers. And many times have them sit down with a customer when they don't have a job for us. And just say, how's it going? If you take we're working on capital planning now. And if you sat down with a hotel in downtown Seattle and you see a whole ton of things they need done, but you ask them a question, not just drive the sale and say, what's your occupancy rate right now? And they tell you, man, we're at 40%. Well, my approach, my investment is going to be much different than it would be if they're like, hey, I need this done this weekend, no questions asked. So I think investment is in really looking beyond just the tomorrow sale is one of the core things that's really made our team different in a lot of ways.
All right, Charlie, you got to clean up.
All right. This one's easy for me, Devin. The word collaboration. McDonald Miller, we're a big company, and there's a lot of employees here, a lot of diverse players. But we're one team, right? And the great thing is we have one common vision. I think the collaboration between business units is fantastic. It continues to improve, and our collaboration with our outside customers, whether it's vendors, whether it's like Kevin mentioned, long-term planning with our clients. Collaboration is number one for me. And what's great about that is it's not just a word, we live it every day.
Okay, here's the trick question. I'll let anybody feel this one, but you all got to answer. What's up with the bromance that you guys got going on?
Oh, brothers.
Go ahead. Go
I'll
ahead,
go
guys.
last.
Go ahead, Charlie.
That's a tough question. This job, it isn't easy, right? It's a time investment. There's a lot of sacrifice, and there's a lot of tough days, long hours. But the thing is, we're all in it together, right? We're all facing the same thing. So this may sound weird, but we're kind of at times suffering together, but winning together. And we all understand what we're all going through, and it brings us closer.
Yeah, and I'll let you guys keep going, but I think the things that you mentioned before, the empathy, collaboration, trust, and compassion for each other is what gets you through that, and what fuels you to help somebody else win as well. So, anybody else want to talk about this little bromance you got going on?
Yeah, I'll jump in. I think Kevin hit on it too. I mean, I know that any of my leads, or Charlie's my lead, but any lead in general, Kevin, up to Casey, as high as it goes, I know that no one would ask me to do something that they wouldn't do themselves, right? No one's throwing anyone under the bus. There's accountability, right? And they don't mind helping you get to the end goal, whatever that may be. But there is accountability, which I love. I think we all have to own what we own. And I think with us in our group, we tend to, I don't want to say weed out those people that don't have those same common core values, but they don't seem to last very long here. They tend to realize that this maybe isn't a right fit for them. But I think for me, being here almost 21 years now, it is really that. We spend a lot of time together. We win together, we lose together. And when you do need help, it's a phone call away, whether it's just for help, guidance, advice. For me, that's been what's kept me here for 20 years. So I love it. And every day is not going to be a happy win. Some days kind of suck. Like you lose a big job. You're like, geez, I thought I had that win in the bag, but it's just keeping that positive momentum going and having the banter with the guys at the office and stuff. It's great. I love it.
Good. Steve, Kev, anybody?
Yeah, you touched on it, Devin. You almost took my answer about the core values. We all believe in the same core values, and you just gravitate towards each other as friends. Really, it's also in your personal life. Think of your best friend. Why is that your best friend? Because they believe in the same core values that you do, or similar. So we're all in it together. And that goes for the rest of the team. That goes for the rest of the company too. It's a Matt Miller mantra. And that's why I've been here so long. I'm not going anywhere.
Kev?
Yeah, I would say, Deb, just to close that question out, part of a bromance is not just telling people what they want to hear.
Yeah.
But also the flip side of that, Marcus talked about accountability, and that is being able to challenge each other. I think about, when you think about what does it mean to be vulnerable, we can all be transparent, and I'm happy to tell you where you dropped the ball. But vulnerability is when it comes back, and I can receive that and grow from it, as opposed to just like, oh, who the hell does that guy think he is? And we're really driving the difference between right and almost right. Because almost right, if we begin to accept almost right in each other or almost right with our team, that could cost us money, that could be legal issues. And we're really not doing the service that a servant leader does, and that is to help grow each other. And that investment in that way, being able to have that type of relationship and not just tell people what they want to hear, I think that's made our relationship very healthy in this team.
Nice. Thank you for that, guys. So the last question I have for you guys, and you've answered it already in a number of different ways, but I really sort of want to get down to the core root of your belief. And is the question is, you've all invested at Mac Miller. You all started at Mac Miller at a certain point, 20 something years ago or longer. And you started at a level and you came in with your own beliefs, and now you've got sort of a different set of core values and experience and beliefs. And so I really want to hear from each one of you. How has the journey and the maturation of your internal and external core values changed your life personally and professionally? Heavy question to end on, but it's a good one. Who's gonna go first? I made Charlie go first last time.
When I started here, I was probably late 20s, a few years out of college, and as a person, my core, was set as how I was going to lead my life. But when I started here, the mantra I spoke about earlier was present, and that's where I learned how to be a great person in society, how to be a great person in business. It just developed me and matured me to be a great person, and just enriched my life with all my core values as a friend, as a dad, as a colleague. I owe a lot to the company in developing me to be a great person in society. So
the investment was worth it then.
absolutely.
And
I'm still investing.
Yeah, I'd agree with that, Steve. I started here when I was 24, just a kid. I didn't really know much about life, right? All the core values I got were from my parents, which I had a good set of core values. But at McDonald Miller, those core values my parents taught me started to make sense, right? Because as a young 20-year-old, you don't really understand until you start to live it. And so what I brought from my family to my new family here at McDonald Miller after 20 years, the set of core values from both sides really molded me into the man I am today. Like Steve said, the father I am today. I wasn't a father when I came here, but I became a father while at McDonald Miller. And I had the examples around me of how to be a good father, how to be a good business leader, how to be a good friend, how to be a good member of the community, whether it's when I'm coaching my kids' soccer team or volunteering on my daughter's swim team. Just showing up, being present, and just being consistent. And Mac taught me that, and is still teaching me every day.
Yeah, I'll chime in. Yeah, for me, it's kind of the same, right? I was like 20, just turned 21 when I hired on here. So thought I was just going to be an HVAC tech forever, and probably could have did that. I mean, I was happy doing what I was doing. After 15 years or so, I had a couple kids, my wife was out of school. So I had a little bit of leeway as far as like, okay, I can make a change financially maybe and roll the dice on this sales thing, because she could always pick up the slack for underperforming salesmen. So for me, it's been, the work ethic. I think you have it or you don't, right? I mean, there's a lot of, I think, good guys that come into the trade and even to sales or whatever it is in life, right? I think there's just certain guys that have the grind And, you know, you hear that kind of cliche saying that like steel sharpens steel, right? You're around other people who have the same mindset, who have the same goals, family values, and you lean on them people and you tend to gravitate toward those people. And over time, you guys all kind of just evolve together, right? So for me, it was kind of the same thing. You know, I had 4 brothers and 3 sisters growing up, and I was right in the middle. So I was kind of like not forgotten, but I got away with a lot of stuff because my older brothers were into stuff. My younger siblings
Sure
were
do.
doing stuff, and I could float in the middle. So, and I still do that here. No. So for me, that's been the thing. It's just hard work and, you know, work hard, play hard, I guess is really what it comes down to.
Nice. Kev, you want to wrap it up?
Sure. Yeah, the values here. By the way, Marcus, duly noted about you flying the radar.
Sales numbers are being adjusted.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah.
Okay. The microscope is now turned on. No, I started, it's funny, I was sharing this the other day at a retreat that we had and was sharing about how I started the trade in early 1982, and Rory felt it necessary to let me know that he was born in 1982. But you remember, you look for things, we all gravitate to things in life that we can cling to, right? Some good, some bad. But the things that I've found is you got to find that place where you fit. And in my 44 years, I've worked for 5 companies. 3 of those have been geographical changes. And the 2 that were on top of that were literally quick turn places because I knew right away that like I can't build a career here. That it's not the same mantra, it's not the same mindset, it's not the same value. And what I've seen with McDonald Miller, and I'll just say even more micro with SSP, and I'm not saying this because I lead the group. I'm saying it because the individuals that are in it, they represent a desire to grow and to serve people. And we don't sell things to people. Charlie mentioned this, we sell things for people. And we're looking for that play. And that's where the real satisfaction comes. I remember when I built the leads group underneath me, I remember telling them this, that the greatest satisfaction you will have will not be a job. It will not be a win, not a sale, because those things come and go. But the one thing that doesn't, that we take with us every day, is relationships. And watching the ability, the greatest joy that I've had as a leader, as well as watching these guys, is when they see another person get it and the light comes on. That's what I think the value that really drives me every day is to see that light come on for people. And because I know that it's not just about the, minute win, it's about the overall development for them, for their customer, for their family, and ultimately for their community. So, yeah, I think that's the thing that drives it for me.
Yeah, and I can hear in your voices, we all start out very young, and it's tough to be young or new, and you're trying to be competitive, you're trying to achieve, you're trying to invest in something, and then you get it, right? And you achieve what you've got, and then all of a sudden you've got it, and then it's tough to turn around and share it with somebody. It's like, I got this, I won this, I. But then when you share it with somebody and it becomes we, and you share whatever it is that with somebody else, it comes back to you tenfold. And when you learn that, it makes you greedy to want to go out and achieve more for other people because you get so much back in return in your investment. So, hey
Right.
guys, I know, I just want to thank you guys for being here. It means a lot to me that you all came on. And again, I said this at the front that I kept you guys off. We've done about 13 episodes now because you guys are such a special group together, and to our team, we work very well together. So wanted to say thank you. I did want to give the team on my side the opportunity to ask any questions briefly. We're beyond time, so I want to be respectful of their time. But if anybody has a burning question, now's the time to ask it.
Not a question. It's Greenheck here, but just a comment. I knew I liked you guys for some reason. Everything you said is kind of how I've tried to live my career. This was a wonderful 30 minutes. Thanks a lot, guys.
To know how you keep that golf score so low where you're so busy all the time. There's got to be
Don't
some
let Devin
trick.
lie to you. I'm
Gotta share.
terrible.
You gotta share.
New racer comes in handy.
All right, everyone. Again, guys, thanks a bunch for being on here. Thanks for doing this. Really appreciate you guys.